Hey there, guys! Welcome back to my YouTube channel tonight. Well, it is tonight for me, not for you, well, not for my guest. I got a very special guest. The big Milan fan himself. We all know who he is. One of the biggest Milan fans on TikTok himself or on the internet. Marco, how are you, man? Thank you for coming onto my channel.
I'm good, my friend. How are you? Yeah, thank you for having me.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. It's what I've been excited for a while. I've been trying to get, trying to get you for, trying to get you, trying to get, trying to have you. I'm nervous. So I've been trying to get you on here for a while, man. When Big Marco, the big man himself. Yeah, man.
Uh,
If you could just talk about yourself. How did you become a Milan fan? And
yeah. I know I've seen you in my TikTok live stream stuff every comments every now and then. Tell me to come on YouTube, come on YouTube. So I'm glad we finally worked out something that works for both of us. I'm gonna have the Fiorentina Inter game score in the background here, just because I got to keep an eye on that one. We need a big result
oh
today
yeah, yeah,
from La
that's
Viola.
true.
But yeah, man. My name's Marco. I've been a Milan fan now for probably about 20 years, ever since like the '06, '07 season. I don't come from a family that loves football, to be honest. Like my parents couldn't care less about football, but my family immigrated from Italy. Like all my grandparents come from Italy, and so growing up, every Sunday we go to like my grandma's house for Sunday lunch. And my uncles and
Mm.
my cousins, some of them would be into Italian football. So every time we would finish wrapping up lunch, here it'd be the 2:45 or 3:45 p.m. game, depending on whatever daylight savings time. So we'd always finish lunch, and we'd go to the living room. We'd watch Italian football for the rest of the afternoon. And usually at the 2:45 game, it would be like the marquee matchup of the weekend. So I was always kind of around
Yeah.
Italian football, and I enjoyed watching the teams like Juventus and Milan and Roma and seeing the Totti and Del Piero, all these guys, and I became familiar with it, but I never really got into football until the '06 World Cup because I knew, having been around it, that something big was coming down, and my family was talking about the World Cup in '06, and the Italy team that year was, I feel like, still underrated, but looking back, it was like the most ridiculous team I think I've seen in my lifetime. Um,
Yeah.
so I just watched a lot of World Cup football that summer. I fell in love with two players. First one being Andrea Pirlo, because I sat down, I watched my first ever game. I remember like watching from start to finish, like intently, was Italy versus Ghana in the '06 World Cup, and Pirlo scored a fantastic goal that game. So from that moment, I was like, okay, this guy seems good. And then I enjoyed watching Kaká on Brazil, and I was like, okay, I like these two players. I went to at that point we had a computer room at the house, and I typed in, who does Pirlo play for? Who does Kaká play for? It both said Milan. I go, okay, done. This is the team that I've chosen. So I started off pretty easily because that summer Italy won the World Cup, and then the season following that, AC Milan won the Champions League, and I was like, wow, this football
Oh
thing is
yeah.
easy. All my teams are sick. Like everyone's winning. Times are good. And obviously, since that point, it has not been near those level, like those heights. Not on the Milan side, at least. But I'm too far in now, man. I will never support another club like I do AC Milan.
Yeah, man. It's not been great for me and since what? Since '07, it's been, you can say, all downhill. You did win a league title, two league titles since then, but as it's not the heights of the Berlusconi era, you know.
Sure.
Milan, but Milan today. Let's move on to Milan today. You just played Torino, 3-2 win. You guys made it a bit more difficult than you had to. Three. You
Sure.
guys were comfortable at one point. But what's your thoughts on that game? Like, what did you see? What did you like, or what did you dislike?
Yeah, I mean that kind of that's your Pavlovich, summary right there. Is like he can be such a wild card. You never know what you're going to get from that guy. He can score an absolute screamer, like in that first half, one of the goals of the year. I think it's like a Puskas candidate. Honestly, it was a fantastic goal. The way he kind of lashed that it bar down. But then he can also give up a really dumb penalty like that and put his arm too high up and across someone's face. I do think that if Simeone didn't dive, it wouldn't have been given. But regardless, it was a foul that was given, and it is frustrating. But I could see either way, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think having scored three goals, that was definitely a lot more stress free than I've been used to recently watching Milan because they keep things pretty close. And Allegri with his smash and grab tactics, and we get one chance, maybe two chances per half, and we got to score them. But I like what I saw last night from the back line, other than the 2 goals. I mean, we gave up a rebound goal and a penalty, so I can't be too mad at that. I thought De Winter's been having a great 2026. Bartasagi as well, big fan of his. I thought Pavlovic again. You saw the good and the bad of Pavlovic, but overall, I think he played really well. And then that midfield, man. I mean, Fofana had a great game. Modric is Modric, and Rabiot, I think, is one of the best value for money transfers I think this year in world football. He's been fantastic. And then also, I would say one more in that second half. We finally saw, I think, a bit of the old Pulisic a little bit back on the score sheet with an assist, which was great to see. And overall, man, I think considering how the year has gone with so many of those games that we play against mid to lower table teams, I'll take it. We made it a bit tough, but overall, that's better than it has been, I think, for a lot of this season.
Yeah, Milan this season, they've been a bit up and down, especially a lot of the back line's been pretty solid, let's be real. They've been holding their own. It's really the attack. What's your current thoughts on the current state of Milan? Like what do you see them going to do in the future as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think this year's still not done. So I want to say that first and foremost. Like right now we do sit second, but we have Napoli kind of crawling down our back, crawling up our backs there, and then they're coming up, and then we also have to worry about. I mean, I wouldn't say. I'm not going to say anything right now because I think Como can be a problem. Como plays some great football, and they are in that 4th place spot now with a bit of a cushion, having Juventus having drawn. So I think that Milan find themselves in a pretty tough spot. They're in a good position, but the year's definitely not done. We still got quite a few games left to play, and yeah, I think it's hard to be mad this year because with the year we had last year, finishing 8th place, and the manager chopping and changing, and all the kind of storylines we had, and falling out with Theo Hernandez and the player that's been there for so many years, and it was just such a circus last year. And it does feel like the circus has been a bit more calm this year at Milan, where we bring back an old faithful Allegri, old reliable Allegri to kind of just steady things down. But yeah, it's not been the most fun to watch. But we knew that, right? We knew as Milan fans going into this season that Allegri's style of play is not something that we're gonna love for most of this year. But he will get results, and he is getting results. I wish we had some more good results considering all the draws we have this year and all the points that we've dropped. But it's hard to be mad compared to last year. I just think if it was anyone else above Milan right now, we'd be a little less upset. It's just the fact that Inter are above us that I think makes it just a hard pill to swallow,
Yeah, Inter are top of the league right now. They look like they're going to be champions any day now. Milan are chasing them. Do you think Milan can catch up and eventually win the league title, or do you think it's over? It's just a matter of time until Inter win.
I mean, I'd like to say that I'm pretty optimistic, but it's hard to believe, man. I think especially, maybe, as we're talking right now, maybe Fiorentina pull off a miracle today and they drop some points. That'd be fantastic. If they don't drop points today, they have some tough games, but again, so do Milan. We play Napoli, I believe, at Napoli away next, which is, I think Napoli have an incredible home record. So that's going to be tough. Yeah, overall, I think it's going to be Inter's again this year, sadly. And I will say, by default, too, because this Inter team has a softness to them. I don't believe it's a very good side. I'm not saying Milan are better. I'm just saying, if Milan were to win this league, at least we could say as champions that we had defeated Inter, Napoli this season, and Juventus. We at least have that over the teams below us, whereas Inter have beat everyone, it feels like, but the top teams. And, hey, you win a league title, take it however you can, but at least if Milan were to pull it off, we'd have that kind of the bragging rights, the double this season.
Yeah, I think we both said it. We both said on our TikTok pages. By the way, go follow Marco if you don't follow him. We both said that Inter are just they have beaten everybody, and they've been pretty poor, and especially in Europe, we've seen in Europe they've been pretty poor, and I think they're champions by default because, let's be real, Milan this season haven't been the most high, the best quality against the low opposition teams. They do struggle in that. That's just the thing of Allegri football. You're going to struggle against your Parmas or your Cremoneses. And then Napoli this season have been decimated by injuries. I've never seen this many injuries on one team to so many star players and key pieces at once. And that's it with Napoli. But with Milan, are you disappointed that Milan this season just haven't been able to get it over the line against these smaller teams where they really should be beaten? Or have you expected this from the Allegri football?
No, I definitely didn't expect this, man. I feel like I am disappointed because Yeah, like I said, I complain about Inter. They're going to be champions by default, but they're still champions, right? And it feels like if we did our job against them, did our job against Napoli in that first game, did our job against Juventus, and I believe Milan beat Roma as well. Right? You know what I mean? Like not to rub it in, but they did their job against the other top sides, right? And it's just frustrating because you go back and you watch those games. I remember watching the first game of the season too against Cremonese that they lost. And everyone's like, it's game one. It's game one. It's like, it doesn't matter. The season started. We're on now. Like, this is just, you can't be doing this, man. Like, every point in Serie A is incredibly valuable. We all know that the Serie A for the last, 4, 5, 6 seasons has been the best title race in Europe, I feel like, right? It's always so close. And I didn't care that it was game one. I didn't care that it was like, the first game against Parma didn't go well. It doesn't matter, man. So, I think it's frustrating. I think it's just it should have gotten done no matter what, but I do think that injuries kind of hurt Milan this season too because we've really struggled. I think in the worst area has been offensively. We've tried. I partly blame Allegri. I partly blame the players. We've tried multiple combinations of Santi and Pulisic, and then Santi goes out, and then Pulisic and Rafa, one of them two go out, both of them go out. You bring in Kunku in for 45 million, whatever it was. He plays sometimes, doesn't play. And Kunku, Rafa, Kunku. We've tried every sort of which way, and I'm frustrated because I just feel like no matter which way we've been doing it, it doesn't suit the players that we have. And that's the one thing I really fault Allegri for this year is that I just think that if we had set up the team in a more positive offensive way against your Cremoneses, your Parmas, we could have gotten a few more points in those games. Like, I just don't know why we have to be so defensive against teams that are so, unlikely to attack, right? Like, we had the ball for most of the game against teams like Parma, so why not go for it? Why do we have to still stay with 2 strikers when you can bring Fulkrug on now and leave Rafa and leave Pulisic? Like, go for it, right? That's the one thing I would fault Allegri for these years, that he's just not going for it.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Like Allegri, but that's Allegri football for you. He's always going to be defensively solid.
Correct.
And then he's going to go get the goal. If corto muso, that's his saying. Without all costs, basically. But what was I going to ask? Now I want to ask about a certain player, who I think has been Milan's standout player of the season, Luka Modric. I think he's been a standout. Did you expect him to come out here 40 years old and just pretty much like dominate midfields the way he has? I think for me the standout performance was against Napoli at the beginning of the season, where I remember it was him versus Kevin De Bruyne again. They've had their battles at Real Madrid and Man City. They've come to Italy, and he looked 23 years old. He looked like he could just run for days. Did you expect this from him, or is this such a surprise for you?
Of course I did. I've always rated Luka Modric incredibly high. All you had to do as a football fan, if you doubted this transfer, is just go look at all the Real Madrid comment sections when he was leaving, and they were all saying the same thing. This guy can still play one more year, keep him one more year. Like, you know what I mean? I don't understand people that were doubting Luka Modric coming to Milan. I know he's 40. Everyone understands how age works. We get that. But there's some players, I said this when he made the move, it does not matter how old they are. You take them if you can get them, especially on a free, especially on like a pretty fair salary. I think whatever he's on right now is nothing crazy. It's Luka Modric. This is not, when people say things like you sold Reinders and replaced him with a 40-year-old, that is so disrespectful. You're calling Luka Modric a 40-year-old? No. You call Luka Modric no matter how old he is. It's like signing Messi and saying, oh, you signed a 38-year-old? No, you signed Messi. It's still Messi, right? That's Luka Modric is at table 1 of football, in my opinion, especially when we're talking about this generation. I had no doubts he was going to be an incredible addition for us on the pitch, and then also off the pitch as like a mentor for the young players that we have on the team too.
Yeah, for me, I think I did doubt it. I'm gonna be one of the people that doubted it. I didn't expect. I know Serie A is a bit slow, but I thought 40 years old. I had never seen a 40-year-old like be this good. Especially in Serie A. I thought he was like 38 when he retired, and he wasn't nowhere near this good when he retired. But for me, I have him in my team of the season so far. That's how good he's been. Like for me, he's in my midfield team of the season. Like who do you think who's your team of the season? I want to ask you, like, what from your team season 11 throughout the entire Serie A?
For the entire SerieA? Oh, put me on the spot here, man. But I mean, if I'm gonna go, I'll go with Milan players first, of who I think has like at least been eligible for team of the season this year. I think our best players have been. I'm gonna go Mike Maignan. I think is the best keeper in SerieA. I think Karnasecki is also pretty good too. I like Svilar, but I just think that Mike Maignan has shown you this year he's a top goalkeeper. I really think in the world. Like he's top 3 easily in my opinion. I think, again, from the Milan point, I'm going to say Luka Modric as well as in team of the season. I think Rabiot has been outstanding. I feel like if you would have asked me before the start of the year, I would have put in Christian Pulisic, who's been really, really good all year. But after this 2026 so far, I would not put him in there anymore. And then in the back line, I probably would give you Gabbia. I think Gabbia, now he's been injured, I understand that now, but he's been really, really solid all year. One of those players that has a great storyline too, of like going out on loan, coming back only by injury, and he's really like taken the opportunity. He's been really solid this year as well. Those are the Milan ones that I'll give you. But other players that I think I've really enjoyed watching this year in SerieA, I mean, obviously Nico Paz has to be in there. I think Palestra has been outstanding. He's been outstanding. Kenan Yildiz as well, obviously, should be in there. I need to take maybe a moment and like write this down after this for a team of the season video later. But
I feel like you're missing out some name. You're missing out a big name. Big Wesley from Roma, man. That guy has been incredible for me. He's been for me the best right back in Serie A. That guy. Okay. You know, him and Salamakers have a little bit of a duel going on every time they go up against each other, which is great to see. But yeah, I agree with you. I thought you missed out on someone like Tomori. I think Tomori has been great this season. He's been my team of the season contender. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like every time we played against Roma, this guy. Every time we played Milan, he's been the guy that's just like, oh my god, we can't get past him. You know, him and Pavlovic, but Gabbia, I agree.
Yeah, I think the back 3 this year has really benefited all of them because, I mean, you saw last year, this like winning the ball so high up the pitch never really worked with Paulo Fonseca or Conceição, and I feel like you saw kind of everybody take a step back last year, including Tomori. But I think this year, knowing that we didn't have like the most elite of center backs, them being in a back 3 has allowed them kind of all to bail themselves out, right? So, you know, Tomori might not have his best game, but you can rely on maybe Coni De Vinter or Gabbia this year, and kind of vice versa. Like, I didn't think Tomori was particularly good yesterday. You saw him come off at halftime because he took a yellow card in the first 8 minutes. He still has those games in him, I feel like, whereas someone like Gabbia has been just incredibly solid all year round. And definitely since the start of the new year, Coni De Vinter, I think, has been my standout. He's unbelievable and makes me not miss Malik Thiaw at all.
No. He scored today, but it was ruled offside. But against Sunderland, so yeah, it's unlucky for him. But I want to ask you about the striker situation. You know, there's a certain man who's playing. I think he might be playing right now. I don't know, but Moise Kean. There's been a lot of rumors that he's going to come to Milan. Is he your number one striker option that you would want, or is it somebody else in the world? Of course, within Milan's means of getting, you know, they can't get Erling Haaland, of course, but is it somebody that you want that Milan that could get?
Yeah, I think of the players that are probably going to be available, I mean, we'll see what happens to Fiorentina if they stay up. I think they will stay up, but I do think that it wouldn't be shocking for Moise Kean to move on from Fiorentina after this year, depending. I would definitely take him. I think he would fit decently well. I still don't think he's the best fit. I really do believe like someone like Jean-Philippe Mateta was the best fit for this Milan team because he's the most Allegri type striker I think that would be available right now. Someone that can play more back to goal, incredibly strong, can occupy those 2 center backs. Moise Kean, I like him, but he's definitely he's a little more on the ball, I think, than someone like Mateta. Still likes to run at you, but I think he can do a job for us as well. I just think that if I had to pick, like to your question, if I had the choice to pick anyone I wanted right now within reason, I would still pick Mateta. But we know how that didn't really work out. So I'd gladly still take Moise Kean. I also, honestly, this might not be popular with Milan fans too, but I do think that Dusan Vlahovic could do a job as well.
That's not going down.
I know.
That's not going down well.
I don't think it's happening, but I wouldn't if we signed him somehow. can't afford him probably. If we did, I wouldn't be mad. At a good price.
Yeah. Milan fans will not like. Oh, I can only imagine that. We've seen players go from clubs from Milan to Juve or Juve to Milan before.
Sure.
Most famously Andrea Pirlo, but Dusan Vlahovic and the contract he's on, I don't know if he'll do that. I don't even know if he would want to do it himself. But yeah, I thought Moise Kean, for me, Moise Kean's the best available striker in Serie A. You know, that doesn't play for one of the top clubs. But there's another man I think that doesn't get enough recognition. He played in Serie A. Is Retegui? Could Retegui come back to Serie A, and would you take him at Milan?
You know what? Sorry, I can't believe I didn't even think about that. Yes, 100%. I would go Retegui over Vlahovic. I would take him back.
He's over there in Saudi. He's not scoring. He's scoring, but not scoring to the rate he was under Gasperini. So maybe Gasperini can bring him back to Roma. Him and Marlon and Vaz. But that's a dream, innit? But I think Milan could definitely look at him, or Moise Kean, or there's definitely other strikers like Keenan Davis of Udinese. What's your thoughts on him? Milan? I think he's a Allegri type striker. I think he's a baby Mateta type of player.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't mind him. I just think when you look at this Milan team right now, it's like, I don't know. We need a good. I think right now we did a really good job at like getting a good mix, like a good mix in there, right? And I do think that with players like Santi Jimenez in there, like he'd be the only striker as of right now still under contract when the year is done. I just want someone a little more proven. And I know the way I'm sounding, there's like, you know, classic Italian fan of Italian clubs, like never go with like the up and coming kid. But I think it's about a balance, right? Because I still think, I don't know if Santi's going to move on. I hope he finds his shooting boots again for the rest of this year. But I think having someone like Santi and then someone like a Mateta in there with like a couple different profiles, you know, a little more experience, another one that's a bit younger. I'm always a fan of defaulting to giving you something different, right? Like if you have someone like Santi, then bring in someone like Fulkrug or Mateta, which they did this year. They brought in Fulkrug, like just different profiles because different games call for different things, right? Like sometimes you have to spam crosses in and you want someone like Fulkrug out there. Sometimes you hit them on the counterattack and you want a player like Moise Kean or even Santi who's you know not slow himself. I wouldn't mind him. I just think I'd lean a bit more experience considering I'm going to assume that Santi is still sticking around.
Yeah, I mean, Santi, man, I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know. He just lost his shooting boost as soon as he arrived in Milan. Something must have happened. I don't know. But yeah, actually, that's it really. I don't have any more questions, you know. It was a quick video. Appreciate you, Marco, for coming on. Greatly appreciated, you know. Guys, make sure to like, subscribe. I'm going to link all of Marco's socials down below. Please do give him a follow if you don't already. He's excellent Milan commentator. This guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to Milan. You know, I probably learned more from him than anybody else. So thank you for coming on, man. It's greatly appreciated, man.
That's very kind, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the kind words, and yeah, this was fun, man. We'll do it again. I got to do some more stuff on my page with like collabing with some other content creators too, because I feel like us SerieA content creators got to stick together, man. We're in this like never-ending. We have to fight for our respect on these platforms with all the Premier League fans that are looming around. So it's good to see. It's good to see someone like yourself repping a team like Roma too. So it's great, man. Keep it up. I'm a big fan of your stuff as well.
Appreciate it, man. Because if SerieA doesn't like to promote itself, so we have to do a job for them, man. So it is what it is now.
I know. Here we are. We're all volunteering our time and our evenings and everything. We're trying to still, you know, there's a reason to watch. We all love SerieA. SerieA can definitely help itself a bit more, but we do love it for a reason, right? So we gotta stick by it.
Yeah. But guys, make sure to like, subscribe. As I said, I will see you guys next time for another video. Peace out.